This morning, an Oklahoma County Commissioner is calling for major changes in downtown OKC, who he wants to see in charge of one of the deadliest jails in America.
There's really no place for this here. If a person has a disagreement or if they want to express their views, this is not the way to do it.
Plus, an investigation underway after graffiti appeared at the state capitol building, while officials say it could be several days before they know who was behind it.
And is a new rivalry forming in the NBA? We'll bring you the highlights from last night's Thunder versus Spurs matchup. It was one game for sure. Well, hey, good morning and welcome to Good Day Oklahoma. Hopefully you're not too tired from watching the game. I'm Alexis Young.
Hey, I'm Wayne Stafford. What a game it was. We ended up winning by like 20 points right there. What a feel-good win after losing 3 times earlier. It had to happen.
I mean, it feels so good, honestly. And, I think a lot of people are also waking up not only feeling good from that win, but feeling good because, honestly, when you walk outside, it does feel good. I'm not going to lie. It's a little chillier than normal, but I think you got to know how to dress for it. So let's turn it over to your first morning forecast. No. Well, wake up, Oklahoma. We're taking a live look at downtown, the Paycom Center, where it went down against the OKC Thunder and Spurs, taking home that win. And another win is because you woke up this morning and turned on Good Day Oklahoma. Well, hey, everyone. Good morning. I'm Alexis Young.
And I'm Wayne Stafford. Definitely a win. And we are seeing some cooler temps. If that's what you're into, that's a win for you then right there. We're seeing some more January-like temps. Feeling a little bit cooler, but not freezing. At least our highs aren't freezing.
I think that's the good news. Now, there is something we do want to warn you about. There is an elevated fire risk as well. But let's go ahead and turn it on over to your first morning forecast so you can know what to look out for. All right, it's time for your Kalidi Kia Steer Clear traffic update. And I want to show you a live look at I-35 and North 12th Street. And there is just backups for miles right now on I-35. I want to give you a quick look at your drive time, though, of what it's going to take if you're taking I-35. Northbound I-35 on Flood Ave to I-40 is going to take you 25 minutes, especially if you're coming from the Moore area into the city. People are slowing down, as you can see. 30 miles per hour is the average. Now, ODOT is not reporting any accidents, but an accident they are reporting is over here on State Highway 37 to I-40. Now, once you hit that I-44 eastbound commute, that's where you're going to find a car crash. It's a non-injury, thankfully, but it's just off of exit 118. Meanwhile, though, the metro overall is just looking great. That's actually once you get past all these delays. All right, let's take one more look at your ODOT traffic cam, and I just want to show you just what is going on, and that's, again, I-35, those backups. So be mindful as you go out there. Give yourself 10 to 15 minutes as your Steer Clear traffic update. All right, thank you. It's time for your Steer Clear traffic with Kalidi Kia. Guess what, guys? Here in the Moore and Norman area, traffic is already starting to back up. On State Highway 37 to I-40, there is a 13-minute drive. Now, people have slowed down from the 65 miles per hour to 59 miles per hour, so be mindful of that. I want to take a live look at our ODOT traffic cam, though, just to show you what it's looking like out there. State Highway 74 and Britain already seeing more drivers, so stay safe. It's Steer Clear traffic update. Meanwhile, state lawmakers are debating a proposed constitutional amendment that would ban the use of Sharia law or laws from other countries in Oklahoma courts. Sharia law is a set of religious guidelines followed by some Muslims that govern personal and ethical conduct. The author of House Joint Resolution 1040 is State Representative Gabe Woolley. He is saying that Sharia law is incompatible with the Constitution and could threaten individual freedoms. Meanwhile, State Representative John Waldron disagrees, saying the measure targets one religion and would violate constitutional protections.
It seems that they would have to completely go around the tenets of the Constitution to properly function and operate with Sharia law or Islam.
Conservatives are expanding the role of government into very intimate details about our lives. It's certainly not right for Oklahoma or for America to give the government that kind of power over religion.
If lawmakers approve it, the question would go to Oklahoma voters who would ultimately decide whether to add it to the state constitution. Turning to developing news this morning, an 18-year-old woman is recovering after a scary crash on an overpass, ending with her jumping nearly 40 feet to escape an oncoming semi-truck. Melora Stites says she was driving to Fayetteville, Arkansas, when she saw a deer, swerved, and ended up sideways across 2 lanes. While she was on the phone with 911, she says she saw a semi-truck that was approaching, and it had no signs of slowing down. To save her life, she made the split-second decision to jump over the overpass, falling 40 feet. She suffered multiple fractures and will need to use a wheelchair for several months.
Recovery has definitely been hard, but I do feel like I've always been a very determined person. Like, if I want something, I'll make sure I get it. It's very painful, as you probably would imagine, but I'm just ready to get back to normal again, and I'm just ready to live my life again.
She did not have full insurance coverage and will be off work while she recovers. Now, come over to your screen. Her family has set up a GoFundMe page that you can help out with. If you want to donate, just scan the QR code you see on the screen. This money will go towards her medical bills and to installing a stair lift in her home. Again, if you'd like to donate, scan this QR code on your screen. And despite the Justice Department's decision, most Americans are believing the ICE officer who fatally shot a woman in Minneapolis last week should face criminal charges for his actions. That's according to a new YouGov survey that found 53% of those who polled said the ICE officer should be charged for shooting Renee Good. 30% said he should not be charged, and 17% of people said they were not sure. In a separate poll, a majority of respondents also said they believe the shooting was not justified. And the State Department says some Americans detained in Venezuela are being released. Last week, the head of Venezuela's legislature said a significant number of Venezuelan and foreign prisoners would be let go as a gesture to, quote, seek peace. The move comes after the U.S. military raid that captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro earlier this month. Venezuela reported 400 people have been let out of prison, but they're not providing any evidence or identifying who these people are. Your time is 7:24, and returning to health news, the U.S. has hit a major milestone in its fight against cancer. A recent study from the American Cancer Society finds for the first time 70% of those diagnosed with cancer survive 5 years after their diagnosis. They estimate that 4.8 million cancer deaths were prevented from 1991 to 2023. The report attributes this to more advanced treatment methods and an increase in early detection screenings, as well as people stopping the use of tobacco. And the FDA is asking drug makers to remove warnings about risks of suicidal thoughts from popular GLP-1 weight loss drugs. The warnings are found on drugs like Wegovy and Zepbound. The FDA says it found no evidence that the drug makers increased suicidal thoughts or behaviors after reviewing more than 90 studies involving more than 100,000 patients. GLP-1 drugs work by mimicking a gut hormone that suppresses appetite. News for sports. Well, hey, we got some more sports news because turning to the OKC Thunder, a big anticipated matchup last night taking place at the Paycom Center. OKC looking to get their first win against the San Antonio Spurs, and San Antonio in town looking to go 4-0 against our Thunder. But we just were on our P's and Q's because guess what? We were shorthanded once again, but that didn't stop us. OKC carrying a 3-point lead into the third quarter before our MVP SGA igniting 15 of his game-high 34 points. OKC outscoring the Spurs 40-24 in the third quarter as they cruised into the victory. Thunder winning 119-98.
We kind of had no choice. We all knew when we woke up this morning. This team had got the better of us the last 2 times we played them. And that doesn't happen to this group. It doesn't happen a lot. I can't remember the last time it's happened. But yeah, uncomfortable feelings and adversity is where you find growth and find who you are. And we showed it tonight.
SGA finishing with 34 points, tying his career high in blocks with 4. J-Dub, 20 points and 2 steals, and Alex Caruso adding 13 points and 4 assists off the bench. Thunder on the road tomorrow night taking on Houston Rockets. Tip-off 6:30. You can watch it on Amazon Prime. All right, well, happening in your community, Oklahomans can now bid on dozens of pickups in an online auction by the Department of Wildlife Conservation. The auction is featuring a surplus of vehicles like pickups, boats, ATVs, and they're even giving away some tools. Now, officials say all money raised during the auction will help the Wildlife Department and its activities to conserve fish and wildlife. Now, bidding is open and ends on January 27th. Bidders who wish to participate must make an account online. A 10% buyer's premium is added to all winning bids. And for those interested in bidding, many of the vehicles will be available for inspection Monday, January 26th. All right, turning to national news. 2 major Supreme Court cases could reshape the future of girls and women's sports nationwide.
Justices are hearing arguments in a pair of cases challenging state laws that bar transgender athletes from competing in female sports. National correspondent Kelly Gaskins has the details from Washington.
All right, it's time for this week's Sheriff Spotlight. And joining us now is Staff Sergeant Tara Harden with the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office. Now, we were talking in the break about bank impersonation. This has also almost impacted me. So what is it?
Yes, and it's getting a lot of people. So it is criminals pretending to be your bank, impersonating your bank. And they are doing so through text messages, through phone calls, through emails. And, a lot of banks operate and have for years on those text messages that says, hey, did you just authorize this charge?
That's true.
Yeah. If the answer is yes, go ahead and reply to that, because only you and your bank really know that, right?
Okay.
But if the answer is no, anybody can make up that information and send that to you. So think twice before you reply to those, because what's happening is when you reply, no, I didn't authorize this, number one, you've confirmed, if that's a criminal on the other end, you've confirmed what bank you use. Because if it came from a bank that wasn't your bank, you wouldn't reply to it, right?
Interesting.
So then they will follow up with a phone call that they've spoofed the phone number, and spoofing is making your caller ID read something other than what is really the real number it's coming from. And so they follow up, and it looks like it comes from your bank, and they say, hey, it's your fraud department. We got that charge stopped, but somebody obviously has your card. We need to confirm a little bit of information and get your account secure.
And that's how they get you.
And that's how they get you, yes. And sometimes your even your password to your account has already been breached through a data breach.
Okay.
And what they're trying to do is get the multi-factor authentication code from you. So then they'll follow up and they'll say, we're going to text you a code. We need that code to confirm that it's you.
Well, we got to wrap up real quick. My producers are calling. Real quick, though, how can we protect ourselves?
Don't reply. Go directly to your account site or call the number on the back of the card. Don't interact in other ways.
All right. Always a pleasure having you here. Well, hey,
Great to
guys.
be here.
It's now for us to turn over to the weather. So let's turn over to our first warning forecast.